It was a beautiful morning in an African village. The sun was shining, children were laughing and playing in the streets. Women were by the river, washing clothes and singing cheerful songs about their lazy husbands. Everyone seemed happy and full of life, but inside the chief's hut, the mood was serious. The great chief sat silently, listening to two men in front of him. "Great chief," said the older man, pointing to the younger one, "this man is a thief." The chief raised an eyebrow. "Is that true? What did he steal from you?" "He stole one of my sheep," the old man replied, his voice shaking with anger. The chief turned to the young man. "What do you say to this, great chief?" The young man said calmly, "I don't steal sheep. I have many of my own. And if I ever need more, I buy them." "He's lying. He's trying to trick you." "I'm not the thief, he is." The chief looked out toward the distant mountains and gave a small smile. He then turned back to the men and studied their faces. The young man didn't seem afraid, but the old man didn't look like a liar or a thief either. It was a difficult problem, and the chief knew he wouldn't find the answer quickly. But he enjoyed solving such puzzles. People from far away came to him because he was known for being fair and wise. After a few quiet moments, the chief spoke. "I have a question for both of you. The one who finds the answer will keep the sheep. Go home and come back only when you know the answer." The men leaned in to hear the question. "What is the fastest thing in the world?" the chief asked. The two men left the hut, both deep in thought. The old man walked home slowly. He felt hopeless. How can I answer such a hard question? He thought. When he reached home, he told his daughter, 𝘓𝘢, about the chief's question. 𝘓𝘢 was a kind and intelligent young woman with a warm smile. She always helped others and was known for her wisdom. "I know the answer, father," 𝘓𝘢 said gently. "The fastest thing in the world is time." The old man's eyes lit up with hope. The next moment, he was on his way back to the chief's house. "You're back so soon?" the chief asked, surprised. "It's not even been an hour." "Yes, great chief," the old man said confidently. The answer wasn't hard. "Then tell me," the chief said, leaning forward. "The fastest thing in the world is time," said the old man. "It passes so quickly. We never have enough of it. When we want it to slow down, it seems to move even faster." The chief's eyes widened in surprise. It was a beautiful answer, better than any he had thought of. "Who helped you find this answer?" he asked curiously. "No one," said the old man, nervous. "They are my words." "If that's a lie," the chief warned, "I will punish you." The old man lowered his eyes. "I'm sorry. It was my daughter, 𝘓𝘢. She is wise beyond her years. She gave me the answer." The chief smiled. "She must be very wise indeed." He stood up and said, "You found the right answer. The sheep is yours. And now, I would like to meet your daughter." The next day, the old man brought 𝘓𝘢 to meet the chief. They all sat at a big table filled with delicious food, chicken, rice, sweet fruits, and a special drink made from palm juice. They laughed, talked, and enjoyed the meal together. They also spoke about the young man and how difficult it was to be a fair and honest judge. The chief felt happy. He enjoyed 𝘓𝘢's company and admired her wisdom. And deep inside, he knew that she was someone very special. The great chief felt so happy, his heart was full of joy. He wanted to sing and dance. Was it the sweet palm juice he drank? Or was it the way the wise and beautiful 𝘓𝘢 looked into his eyes with her gentle smile? But as always, time moved too fast. Soon, it was time for them to leave. After that day, the great chief saw 𝘓𝘢 every day. And each time he saw her, his love grew stronger. "You are a wise and beautiful woman," he told her one day. "I want to marry you." 𝘚𝘓 laughed softly. "I want to marry you too." So, they got married. The great chief was full of happiness, but deep inside, he also felt a little worried. His wife was very wise, and he didn't want her to help him with the problems people brought to him. He wanted to be known as the wise chief, not the chief with the wise wife. The day after their wedding, he spoke to her seriously. "Everything in my house belongs to you," he said. "But I have only one request. Please don't help me with the problems people bring me. If you do, you'll stop being my wife." "I won't say this again." 𝘚𝘓 listened quietly without looking up. When he finished, she smiled kindly. Life went well for a while. The great chief listened to people's problems like always. 𝘚𝘓 took care of the home and the animals. In the evenings, the chief would tell her about the day's problems, and she would usually agree with his answers. One day, two little boys came to the chief with a big problem. They both claimed that a cow belonged to them. "It's my cow," said one. "No, it's mine," said the other. To solve the problem, the chief gave them a very difficult question. Later that day, 𝘚𝘓 saw one of the boys walking past her house, crying. "What's wrong, little one?" she asked gently. The boy wiped his eyes. "The great chief asked us a question. And I don't know how to answer it," he said sadly. "What was the question?" He asked, "What's the biggest thing in the world?" 𝘚𝘓 already knew which boy was telling the truth. She had often seen him in the fields with the cow. She also knew she wasn't supposed to help. But the answer was easy for her and very hard for a young boy. And he was honest. She knelt down beside him. "Go back to the chief," she said softly. "Tell him this: the biggest thing in the world is air. It's all around us. When we walk, air is in front of us. When we look up, air stretches as far as we can see." The boy went back and said exactly what 𝘚𝘓 had told him. The chief listened, but this time, he wasn't pleased. He was angry. "Who gave you these words?" he shouted. "These are not the words of a child. They are my words, great chief," the boy replied nervously. "No one helped me. If that's not true, I'll punish you," the chief warned. The boy trembled. "It was your wife, 𝘚𝘓," he admitted. That evening, the chief went home, angry and hurt. "I gave you everything," he said to 𝘚𝘓. "But I asked you for one thing, just one. I told you not to help with people's problems. And you disobeyed me." He paused. Then he said in a firm voice, "Now take what belongs to you, and go back to your father's home." 𝘚𝘓 stood still. Then she said gently, "Before I go, may I make one last meal for you?" The chief nodded. "Yes. Make whatever you want. Take whatever you want. Just be sure you're gone by morning." That night, 𝘚𝘓 cooked his favorite meal, chicken with rice and vegetables. As he ate, she poured him many cups of strong palm juice. After the meal, the chief felt sleepy. Soon, he lay down and fell into a deep sleep. With help from her family, 𝘚𝘓 carried the sleeping chief to her father's house. They laid him gently on a bed, and he slept all night. In the morning, a loud voice shook the house. "Where am I? What's going on?" shouted the chief, confused. 𝘚𝘓 ran into the room, laughing with joy. "You told me I could take anything I wanted from your house," she said, smiling. "So I took you. I wanted you." The great chief looked at her and laughed. "You are truly wise," he said. "Let's go home together. Only a foolish man would send away such a wise woman." 𝘚𝘓 smiled. "And you, my great chief, are not a foolish man.